Okay, so what we need to appreciate is that today's session is going to be covering the Native dimension to immigration and citizenship. All too often when we refer to the United States as a nation of immigrants, when we deal with Native peoples, they're dropped from the discourse. Yet it is their homeland that every immigrant group will eventually come to occupy. So one of the important things to deal with in this course is the Native people's experience. We need to appreciate that. By understanding Native experiences with their environment and then their eventual removal from their homelands, we can come to an appreciation of why every citizen of the United States must give thanks to the original inhabitants of this land. Many times the original inhabitants welcomed immigrants, but most often throughout history they were forced through war to make room for immigrants. So in this presentation we are going to appreciate Native people's rich traditions which form the basis or foundation of U.S. society and our existence today. So let's recognize the importance of migration in Native North America. People have been in constant motion throughout the North American continent, especially the area known as the Southwest United States and northern Mexico today. And they've been in movement since ancient times. People have been going back and forth across the present-day U.S.-Mexico border and all borders of nations in the Western Hemisphere since time immemorial. So let's understand that the region and the people reflect a diversity that is prevalent today. So, Kuru, if you could put down below migration. Migration is the term that we need to appreciate here. The present-day United States has been home to culturally diverse populations since time immemorial. The U.S. contains an environmental and a geographic diversity that is impressive and awe-inspiring. Native peoples developed specific linguistic heritages reflecting their interaction with the environment. Now, since time immemorial, people have uniquely responded to the environmental and the geographic diversity of what is commonly referred to by Native populations as our mother, the earth, or as the Haudenosaunee call North America, turtle continents. Now, for 30,000 years, Native communities developed techniques by which to appreciate all that the earth has to offer. Societies that depended on some combination of hunting combined with fishing and the harvesting of plants. Well, we often call these societies simple societies, or in anthropological terms, hunting and gathering societies. And basically the reasons why those simple terms are used to identify these communities is, of course, because they do not have complex social and political forms that are afforded by more productive economies. So when we take a look at these communities, the intimate knowledge of an area, its resources, and the techniques required for using the resources, for using them successfully, are anything but simple in what are known as subsistence communities. Indeed, they often call for a variety of skills and a degree of technical ingenuity on the part of the average adult that is considerably greater than that required in our push-button civilization. Now, since the archaic period, people established rituals and traditions that revealed a fine sense of interpersonal relations. And these relations were reached for maintaining group cohesion. And it was group cohesion that was necessary for survival. So they developed what ethnobotanists refer to as ecologically sensitive subsistence techniques. So if we could put that in the bottom thirds, subsistence societies, subsistence economies. Again, ecologically sensitive subsistence techniques. These economies are very important. Subsistence economies. They reveal an effective use of the environment with a personal participation in the world. And this is the basic scheme of life for people into modern times. And basically, with regards to subsistence communities, you are responsible for the group, not to yourself. Your survival is based on the consideration for the welfare and feelings of others and the environment. And so the key to recognizing this unique relationship with the earth is the people's religion. All Native societies will come to develop what religious scholars a label as a nature ethics. A nature ethics. And this is very important. Their attitudes towards the environment reflects ethical relations with the plant and animal worlds and with other humans. So again, if we could put nature ethics at the bottom here. Ethics. What are ethics? Ethics can be defined as limitations of freedom based on the consideration for the welfare and feelings of others and the environment. You are not free to dump battery acid in a stream. You're not free to do your number in a pond. You must appreciate your surroundings. You must become a member of the environment because you have to understand that the earth has rights. The animals and the plants have rights to exist just as humans. Native peoples are going to develop an oral history to assert their connection to the earth, to assert indeed their connection to the universe. So they identified with their environment by respecting what are known as sacred sites. And since the archaic period, generations made utilitarian art forms. These were art objects that were used for personal consumption. They did this by fashioning tools that were made from stone and antlers. They wove fibers into ropes and fishnets, and they fashioned pottery. Let's listen to a contemporary Pueblo artist explain for us the importance of respecting these sacred sites.